Hello! The kiddo is back to school this week, but the husband is homesick, so I have the door closed again because of what he's listening to. So I could have Chip freaking out and banging on the door and asking me to come in, or I could have to go break up a cat fight because we've officially brought the outside cat in. So Floofy Cat, she's not sure if she likes being inside. Well, mostly she does, until Chip says, "You're in my house." Or until she wanders past a window or a door and remembers, "Oh, outside." But I think she's going to be okay. I'm just going to have to vacuum a lot more. So, little things, little odds and ends. Like, I need to tighten her strings. I painted Mika's fingernails. It's the same paint I used for her lips, which means it's thinned out for airbrushing, which means it was really took a while to get painted on her fingernails. But so for now, she's done being painted until either I decide that I can do better or I can find somebody else to do better. But I don't know if you can see her face up there, but you can see her fingernails. And let me put her over here. And the doll from last week with the sculpted hair is painted. Not sure what I think of this. I originally envisioned a much paler pink with less detail because there's not a lot of detail in this Disney Pocahontas head sculpt. But because I had sculpted in a lot of detail, I don't know how many layers of paint and ink and wash I have on her hair. I started painting it light pink and then I put a wash over it to look darker, but that didn't right, so I started putting highlights over it, and then I eventually painted it pink. It had been painted pink a lot and I didn't like it, so I went in with black. I didn't paint the whole thing black, but I just painted black down in the crevices, and then I went over it with this pink and a little bit of a slightly different color dry brushing for highlights. It's maybe a little subtle. But then I decided I wanted to do her, we've talked about, I'm all about stylized face paint. It's relatively realistically for her face, but it's been so long since I painted relatively realistically, I forgot all the things that I used to do to qualify as a relatively realistic face. So basically I kind of painted some very dark, tired areas around her eyes. And there's a few different layers of color in her lips. I'm really happy with her lip shape. And her eyebrows are painted a lot lower than I usually paint them. So it's not terribly realistic, but the head sculpt isn't terribly realistic. And I think, like I said, I don't usually do stories and worlds and backstories and characters for my dolls, but I think she has something to do with her whenever I get her finished. And I just started sewing random stuff. I'm still sewing thanks things. This I think I might keep for my dolls, but I managed to use up the last bit of this cloth that someone sent me. Obviously this is 60 centimeter doll size. Haven't tried it on anybody yet, but that's how I tend to. Either I'm trying things on a doll constantly, or I just use my pattern and sew and see if it fits or not. More doll thanks sewing I'm doing is someone has Tiffany Taylor that they would like some clothes for. So I've been sewing odds and ends of clothes for the Tiffany Taylor, and then getting into the I just want to use this last little bit of cloth phase mindset mode thing. I started sewing this dress, but this bit of cloth that I was using had been a shirt. So to have enough for the skirt, like there was a seam, and I messed around with the fit, and I didn't take up a lot of care, and I didn't think it's good enough to give to someone else, but it's fine for my Tiffany Taylor. I think it's got a very, very early 1970s silhouette to it, which fits her very well, so I kept her flower crown. This little bit of pin tucking on the bodice was the shirt that it was originally made from, had that. It's very sheer. She's wearing this pair of, these are American Girl tights that somebody gave me, and these ridiculous MSD size shoes. I don't know if you can see, there's a plastic elastic band on this one because when I was trying to get it on her feet, this is so old that the heel, sole of the foot, sole of the shoe just came off. And also, I don't know if you can see, it's really bad on this side. It's old vinyl, so it was just disintegrating when I was using the buckles. And her feet do fit better into MSD-sized high-heeled shoes. And these, as you can see, are just flat shoes with platform heels to make it look like they're high heels. But don't have a lot of MSD-sized shoes, and I have even fewer that would be suitable to go with this early 70s witch-type dress. I did have her wearing this necklace that I made a long time ago, but I don't like the combination of the chain with this, so I might remake it into like a longer necklace to go with this dress, or I might just have her hold it like a talisman or something. Anyway, this amused me, this combination. So that was sewing. I've done a little bit of other sewing, like I said, bank sewing, but this was sewing for my doll, and I'm going to put her aside. So I didn't need to go to a thrift store today, but I went in. Few things on the random toy table. They've obviously recovered from the holidays, but I grabbed Cupid. I actually really like her super flat bangs. And she's obviously tied into whatever this is she's wearing. It's obviously a much bigger doll. And there was a what's-her-face with the wig. The wig wasn't originally on her, but as soon as I saw that pink, I recognized it. These are from about 2002, 2003. I don't think 2001. Early 2000s. This is a Mattel product that this little bit of face on her is drawn on. She came with like stamps, eyes and mouth shaped stamps and markers and stickers to draw her face. I really didn't need to get this doll. I mean, even less than this one, who I can't tell if she has glue. I don't think she has glue. I'm sure there are people who are familiar with Ever After High who are looking at this and saying, no, the production run of the Cupid with that hair color never had glue. But, so that's nice. If I do anything with that head, I don't just take the body. Actually, I'm thinking this head might match that body fairly well. I've seen people do sort of horror customs with this face with nothing on it. This sort of a faceless ghost. And the vinyl in her pants is deteriorating a little bit because all that pleather from circa Y2K is aging badly now, as a lot of people are experiencing. Although this jacket seems okay, but you can see that they used the stampers all over it. That might wipe off. And I'm definitely going to get this wig rehabilitated. I might just end up taking the head for custom use, putting some other doll's head on this body and redonating it. Well, without the deteriorating vinyl. But the thing that I was happiest to find in the random toy table was this allosaurus. You know this is going to be pastel and sparkly when I'm done with it. Whenever I get the airbrushing urge again. Poor thing, somebody had a little Sharpie interaction with it. I think it's Sharpie. It could just be paint. Actually, I think it's paint. It's too well coverage for Sharpie. Anyway, so I'm going to get this thing cleaned up and painted for springtime eventually. Now, the reason I did not need to go to the thrift store today was because I had boxes waiting for me at the post office. I know a little bit of what's in these, but not completely what's in these. I'm pretty sure I know most of what's in this. Appreciate it, thank you. So I'll open this one first. Okay. He said, contact me, said, here are dolls that I am not quite interested in having anymore. Would you like any of them? So I did appreciate having a selection. But then she kind of indicated there would be extra stuff. I got this from a vintage shop on eBay. She's from the 70s line of Lika dolls. She's Patricia-chan, I think. I thought you might be able to do something with her. She still smells vintagey. It's like, wow. Wait, what is this thing under her skirt? Oh, she's some sort of novelty doll. She has like an umbrella. I would say that's odd, but I'm just so thrilled to have a 70s... Wow, she's in fantastic shape. Well, this is amazing. I'm gonna be crude and show this to you. It's like an umbrella. Maybe it's supposed to look like she's twirling. Or maybe she is an umbrella. I don't know. I'm going to have to look this up. I don't know much about vintage Likas because all I know is that they are adorable and amazing. I didn't think I'd ever own one. Wow. Am I kind of speechless? Okay. I'm definitely making more things than I've already made for your thank you. Onward Infant Goods. Again, I'm sure there are people looking at this and saying, I know exactly what that is. See, there's the tag in here. It's the old Takara tag. And then on the other side of the tag it says Onward, and on this it says Onward Infant Goods. Well, for whatever she is, she's in fantastic shape. Well, I'm probably going to go into a rabbit hole of vintage Lika research that I've never done before because they're always just out of my range. Okay, I'm going to stop babbling. That's just the first doll. Thank you. That's not one of them that I expected. I just pulled her out because she's in the side. This one I expected. I didn't expect to get all of her stuff. Thank you. This is, of course, the Look Barbie with the articulated, but not made to move curvy body, which articulation is great and curvy is great. Her face is okay. When I look at the sculpt, I see Carnival, which means I see High School Musical Gabriella mainly. So, does she match? One of my existing curvies will probably get this body, but the head will probably go for something. So I'm excited to get this doll. I've wanted her, but I'm a cheapskate, but I will be making lots and lots of doll clothes as thank you. I always feel like I sound so insincere when I'm making these videos. It's just my brain is racing in all sorts of different directions, and I'm trying to talk at the same time. And I'm just kind of... This is another thing. I see all these people getting all these. They take advantage so much of all the sales online. And I look at it and think, yeah, I would like to have that if I weren't spending all my money in the thrift store. And speaking of money, my first round of auctions have ended. And the reason that I don't tell you my eBay ID is because most of the stuff that I sell on eBay is board game stuff from Husband's Stash. But, like, it's not all that I'm selling his stuff for my use, but... So, I mailed out the first round of that stuff today, so once the people get them, and not necessarily leave me good feedback, but at least I don't hear them saying, what are you doing, you sent me the wrong thing, or it's all busted and broken and I want my money back, then I will allow myself... my own brain thinks. Allow myself to spend money, so hopefully by next week I will be starting to mail out thank you stuff because I'm accumulating quite a bit of it and I'm excited to get it out to people because I hope they like it and I really want to thank them for all the nice things they've done for me. Yeah, I never thought I'd have a Poppy Parker body. I mean, this is a lot like Dynamite Girl's bodies, but just a little bit better because of ankles and things. So, I'm sure I will have someone Nice hands too. Someone will be appropriate for this body. Because I get weird about dolls and bodies. I used to cross-brand bodies all the time, then I got to the point where I said, no, no, no. I just want to keep the same head on the same brand of body, but that's really limiting, and I need to get over that. And then I'm pretty sure that these are all the dolls I expected. Okay, no, I did not expect one of the new Kiras. I did look at her in the store. I'm just kind of speechless. So yes, this is one of the reboot Kira faces. Oh, they even still have the 1980 copyright in the back. Of course, I'm sure I'm going to be majorly comparing her with, you know I am, with the original 1980 Kira face. Yeah, this new one is a lot softer. So they look similar, but they are still fairly different, especially the bridge of the nose. So, oh, that's right. They use the new crunchy hairs thing, not the glue hair. So hopefully we'll be relatively free from glue hair as we move into the future. Who is this? I don't recognize Barbie with freckles. I'm sure she's not straight up Barbie. She's probably Barbie as somebody or something else. But those look like factory freckles. It's funny, you know, I know older Barbie faces pretty well, but once the Generation Girl took over, I stopped paying attention as much. I thought I was just getting the body, not the whole doll. You know, this is one of my favorite curvies, and I can experiment with her now. Because even though we have, this body is not the same shape as this body. And the body that has this shape with the articulation, the made to move curvy, so far have only been seen in Australia. I know we will get them in the US eventually, but I still want to experiment with adding articulation to more bodies. And another doll that I've been looking at in the store, and even though it's gotten marked down in price, I've said no, I will wait for it to come down in price more, but I don't need to now, thank you. I'm not going to strip all their clothes off now. But the shapes of these two bodies are actually very similar. I don't know if that just means they were designed by the same person or if the same base was used and just altered from one to the other. But I know John has put legs from this doll on this body, but I'm not going to do that because I appreciate having this one. And I haven't heard people talk about, no, she doesn't have glue head either. Like I said, from now, maybe glue head is a thing of the past. That'll be weird if it is. So I'm feeling overwhelmed by dolls I was not expecting to get. Thank you so much, Capricia. So I'm going to redouble my efforts. I have two dresses and 2 outfits in the stack for you for your Tiffany Taylor, and you're going to get more. But then there's the other box from Kate Pandorf Larson, which I know I can use her full name because she is a comic artist who goes by her real name. And I was only expecting to get one little thing in this, so I'd say from the size of it, that's not what's happened. But I already know of a few things I want to send back as thanks, beyond clothes. So I've known Pandorf for a while. Pandorf for a while online. on Instagram, she's been documenting. She has her old grumpy cat, and then she's gotten these kittens, and it's been fun to watch as time has gone by. Of course, Grumpy Cat wanted nothing to do with the kittens to begin with, but now she posts pictures, and it's just one big pile of cats as they're all having so much fun together. All right, this is what was being sent. You know, I like this style of vintage doll head, especially when they're in the not white versions. With the staring yellow eyes. It's just odd choices. So I can have fun with this without the body. And then she said this was her first attempt at yarn hair. Looks pretty good to me. I like the colored graduation. And wow, I'd forgotten about this head sculpt. Oh, did you shrink this too? It sounds... You know, when you acetone shrink a doll head, it loses its squish. So now I'm afraid I'm going to break it, but... And I like those colors too. I think you know about these colors. Things in here, so many things in here. You know, normally I look through this kind of stuff without talking, but I'm like inside going on everything. Well, that's pretty close. That might happen. I might still have some fashionistas bodies in the skin tone. I didn't. In the random toy bin at the thrift store today was a Jax Winx body, but it was the kind that did not have the articulated arms. Now, in the past, I've taken this body and cut it down and taken parts out of it and made it into a younger, shorter, but a little more human proportion body. So that could be a project. Aaron Carter body with the is he a knockoff head or is he a Prince head? I can't tell. Maybe it's not Aaron Carter. One of those boy dolls, or is it the Beebs? At least it doesn't sing. That's always nice not to have to deal with the singing mechanism. Oh yeah, I can fix this. Slightly broken, but I can work around that. I have before. Oh yeah, she's old enough not to be strung with elastic, but to be strung with that heavy rubber dog bone, which there's some newer dolls are doing that with it too. Oh, she's fantastic. I'm just laughing. The bangs. I'm sure she had a lovely headband. Oh yes, actually. No, she's not warm enough for that body. Like I said, the gears are always spinning in my brain about what I can do with these. Oh hey, the Bionic Woman. But she's been prepped for customizing. So I have one of these that I haven't been sure what to do with. I had one of these when I was a kid. I think I got it at a yard sale, although I do remember watching the show. But yeah, there's definitely variations in the way they're painted. The one I already have, the paint was applied with a little heavier hand. So this could be fun now that I have two. It's like I'm giving myself, I could take one apart. Oh, and two 87 skipper heads. I've thought about rerouting these, but like most dolls from the 80s, they have such an enormous amount of hair, but I can still have fun with them. Adding them to the reroute pile, the never-ending reroute pile. And I feel like I've been ignoring the camera and just talking to myself this time, but some of this stuff is so unexpected and surprising and vintage fantastic. And now I have research and mind wandering to do. And I know I was rambling to some people recently about how I'm getting this feeling of too many dolls, as I called it the midwinter too many dolls. I think a lot of people go through this, but I think I just need to change stuff up. I need to take some stuff off the shelf, put it in a box, not find new homes for it. In the past, that's what I did. I would, as soon as I would get tired of dolls, I'd gather a big armload of them and say, hey, sale trade, who wants these dolls? And at the time, no regrets, and still no regrets because they're just dolls, but I still, sometimes I look through my old files, photos in the computer, and I see dolls that at the time I was like, on find a new home, go away to them, and I see the pictures and it's like, I wouldn't mind if I still had that doll. So even though a lot of these dolls that I have now, that I'm putting in boxes, they've been on my shelf, I think, I'm done with this doll. I can't imagine in the future wishing I still had it. But as many dolls as I've let go and look at in the future from then and think, I wouldn't mind still having that. Maybe I wouldn't mind still having some of these dolls. So I'm trying to get better at just putting them in a box and storing them away for a while, but we'll see how long that lasts. My shelves are getting pretty crowded, but I have no end of dolls to put together and to make to airbrush, and that's even without the idea of acquiring all new dolls. Just the only new doll that I know of that I want this year is Made to Move Curvy, and the phone is ringing, so I'll see you next week.